What up, world? You already know what time it is. It's your boy Matt Mills, the host with the most. Never need to brag, no boss. All ever did was give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in a real way for us players to
Here,
play.
here,
Alongside my co-host with the most, WI in the building.
here.
Hey, hand. What's
What is-
happening? You good?
Yeah, I can't call it. Just organizing.
Word. I hear that. So how you feel about this whole situation, man, in Memphis, man? You
Oh,
know,
it's a wild one. It's a wild one.
this thing's causing mass hysteria, you know,
Right.
in my playbook. Because people got all types of questions and no answers, you know? All types of questions and no answers. Well, y'all seen the title, man. Should we really be hysterical about this? Or should we just chalk it up as like the refinement stage of white supremacy? Because listen, this shit is deep, bro. You gotta understand that the paradigm that we're living in right now, it's almost impossible to differentiate injustice with justice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the thing that's keeping us at a standstill, you know? Sort of like a stalemate. We trying to checkmate white supremacy, but this is a stalemate because we really got to break it down in an intellectual fashion. Yo, you there? You cut out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody involved was black. Behind a blue badge in a white supremacist system. So they're gonna say these are the faces of white supremacy. Well, I don't believe in that. And this shows the genius of Kanye West, man. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's down in Kanye, blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
But hey, wasn't he right? White lives matter, bro. There's no white people involved in this shit.
Right.
But they're gonna say it's the faces of white supremacy. So now I get it, it's at its refinement stage where they don't really have to do much dirty work. But at the same time, the dirty work is being done by us, you know what I'm saying? So why are we blaming the people that are perpetuating it on a macro level and not worried about, hey man, are we a part of the problem or part of the solution? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when you're caught up in the system,
Right.
just by you being in the system empowers the system. So that's the whole system of things, you know?
Right.
How far can you really get?
And that kind of. Right.
If you don't know what's really being done to you, you know what I'm saying? So if it's being done to you, you know somebody did it.
Well, what was the show we did the other day? With the mice on situation. It was
Exactly. Oh, that's so true, eh? My son was
uh,
talking about these young kids going at each other, you know what I'm saying? And how there's not 10,000, we need 10,000 strong, like the minister said, you know what I'm saying? Of fearless men. That's
exactly.
not gonna let the bullshit slide or the bullshit hide, you know?
Exactly. You see, so she also are connecting now with
Yeah.
the culture of culture of black murder, you know, like boycott black murder.
Right. Exactly. Now, how we gonna boycott black murder if we can't even boycott black injustice? You know what I'm saying? Can you dig it?
I mean, for sure, it's basically one strain, right? It's this vein kind of, so it makes sense.
Right. Right. So now that we know that, we gotta ask ourselves: is it really worth it to say, "Damn, dog, we done fucked up. We gotta pull back. We gotta rethink this whole thing we call culture," you know?
Right.
So I'm gonna roll the tape for y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I'm asking, where's Black Lives Matter through all this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a whole different dynamic.
And Kanye wasn't saying white lives matter to say, oh, white people matter more than black people. He's showing you that white lives matter to the point where we're doing it to ourselves. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And more often than not, we're feeding into the system by perpetuating the stuff against our own people, our own young people, especially when you're in a position of authority, you know? You feel like, oh, I got this authority, so I'm gonna bash all my own people because I know I can't do it to their people. I'll be thrown under the bus all the way.
Yeah, that's all the way left with it. I can't agree with that one at all. But it's true though. Once the brothers get a little bit of authority, and nah, that didn't make sense to me though. There's like a pack of bros, and it's like, yo, they went all the way left on them. But oh man, I'm still trying to. Like I just caught wind of it early this morning, right? So I'm still piecing everything together. Got a little bit of video here and there, but
well, like I said, it's at the refinement stage because it's all the system of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Don't let me get that misconstrued or discombobulated. You know what I'm saying? But it's the fact that we can't see it. Now you have all these brothers that are working for Memphis PD, right? And I hate to say it, but Jason Whitlock, he had kind of a point, man. He's like these single mothers, mammies that are running these cities, and these young brothers that have no guidance or direction are being led by them into these destructive ways of thinking and learning. You know what I'm saying? So now you got all these brothers, these young brothers that are supposed to be police officers. They're really cops. They're really dirty cops. Because you don't go around beating up black folks like that. You wouldn't go around a white neighborhood and start beating up a white boy like that. No way in hell would they do that. What do you think about that?
I mean, shit, the proof's in the pudding. I don't gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, the proof's in the pudding, dog.
He's like, yo, it is what it is. You can see it right there, man, unfolding. You know what I'm saying? So let's roll the tape on what went down that night, and maybe we could come to some sort of understanding of what needs to be done.
Right.
Because other than that, man, We're just laying it all out here for the wolves, you know?
Let's get into it then. We got to
All right. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna put the link for the StreamYard up here in the comments. If anybody wants to come up and chime in, you know, and chop it up with a player.
right.
Also, yeah, man, if you got the little thing, you know, check your back chat real quick. I know y'all could hear the kids in the background.
Family time.
And this show is brought to you by Black Mo ENT and Spicy Pot Catering, where we caters to the family, bringing y'all the best in soul food and that soul music. You dig?
Hey, you ought to watch the bar joint.
Say that again.
We got all right. So listen, we got multiple body cams. We got single body cam. Got breaking news clip.
Tyre Nichols in Memphis was just released in the last hour. Tyre watched an hour of footage. I'm going to play something out, but I want it. What you're about to see is hard to get on the The video show officers eventually used a taser on Nichols. He then ran from the officers. The police department released 4 different videos. Another video showed out from a street camera. From that perspective, you can see the officers punching and kicking him. In some of the videos, you actually hear Nichols yell for his mother. Nichols' mom spoke about the incident earlier today where she expressed heartache.
Yell for his mother, yo. Yell for his mother.
Just don't really what I'm going through right now. No mother to lose their child to the violent way that I lost my child. Thank you.
All 5 of the former Memphis police officers posted bond and are out of jail. They are facing 6 charges, including second-degree murder, decades behind bars if convicted. There are protests going on across the country right now. This is video from Memphis, and you can see people are sitting. They have signs with, we are not hearing any just yet any movement, but he is bracing for these protests. Has been for the last 24 hours. It's seen across the country. To continue to top of this story and bring you up throughout this cast.
I'm so happy I found owner.
Yeah.
So what does that tell y'all? Let me ask my folks out there. What does that tell y'all, man? Let you know that
Well, for one, the system is flawed. You know, these guys, these police officers of law felt like they really had to get to an extreme where a young brother's life.
So now, what are we gonna say? It's racism? Or are we gonna say it's classism? Are we gonna say it's harassment? Are we gonna say it's police brutality? Not on the fact that it's the color of his skin. Remember, mind you, Memphis is one of the most impoverished places right now. I know they got a lot of rappers coming out of Memphis and all that, but it's a lot of bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Because they segregated Memphis a lot, you know. They didn't want the black folks to really flourish out there, you know.
Oh, that's
So
crazy.
when they had nice thriving neighborhoods, you know, and they had, you know, certain places that had oil and everything like that, they would tear down that whole neighborhood and build up housing projects, you know, in order to disenfranchise and hold the people back. So these are the things that we have to deal with in order to really look at the system as a whole. So now you got a black mammy mayor, that's or police chief or whatever she is, and then she had a bunch of Sambo brothers or whatever running down on a defenseless young child. I shouldn't call him a child, but a young man, beating him up to the point where they killed him. Did him worse than Rodney King. Did him worse than the white folks did on Rodney King. Kicked him all up in his head.
Now, let me play devil advocate for a second. Do you his reaction to get up, run? Did he overreact? Because the young man, right? They tried to put him down on the ground first, right? And the man went down, and
So it could have been high. You could have been high on something, but still, you don't have to kick him all in his head, run him down like that. It's 200 pound niggas, dog. You see
right,
what happened to that black dude, football player, with he had all the equipment on him, and he still his chest plate end up hitting his heart, and he ended up going down after all these big ass linebacker dudes jumped on him and everything like that in the football game. So what do you think's gonna happen to a young kid that's not trained in that type of atmosphere? You know,
right.
of course it's gonna happen like that. So they tried to tase him. He wouldn't go down. So they had to run him down and beat him to a pulp. For what? Honestly, for what? Most of the times, I ain't even going to front. When I ran away from the police back in the days, most of the times, when you got away, you got away. They would circle back another time, you know what I'm saying? But I got beat up by the police too, you know? Choked me out a couple times. But that's neither here nor there, but that's what I'm saying. It's a bunch of black guys doing this to another black man. You would have a little empathy in your heart to be like, yo, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Y'all just hold up. Maybe he's high on something. Let him run for a little bit and get tired. But no, y'all got into y'all little goofy ass bag of police tricks, and then killed the young man. You know what I'm saying? It's sad to say, bro. But the black police are always showing out for the white cops. You know what I'm saying? And now look, we can't even we can't even call this anything about racism and anything like that. White supremacy? I don't know.
Flawed system. Sure.
Racism is white supremacy though. So we have to understand that yo, these people did this knowing that yo, fuck, I might get in trouble, but I gotta apprehend this suspect or I'm gonna look weak, you know? In the Memphis police, you know what I'm saying? You're a bunch of black dudes out here. We gotta quell the violence. We gotta quell the so-called uh, criminality, which they imposed and they influence and influx into the society that they're living in right there. So it's a dirty game. It's a dirty game that's being played in this and put on display, you know. And for the fact of the matter is, I ain't going for it, man. It's too late in the day. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't born last night, man. I could see the game for what it really is, man. They have too much authority to do something to a minority. They can't do something to the so-called majority, which is really the minority, because they know that in their mind, they're Sambos and they really can't thrive without perpetuating the same bullshit that the system does to us each and every day, which is hold us back, keep us down, keep it at the lowest level of the totem pole, you know. So why should they feel a ways about doing something to us, you know? Now these guys are gonna get locked up for the rest of their lives because they're power tripping on authority, you know what I'm saying? But yo, can you pull up the clip of what Jason Whitlock said?
Whitlock.
Yeah, Jason, put up Jason Whitlock. I wanted to talk about that too because he said some real shit, but he's a Sambo in his down sub because at the same time you can't really blame the mayor for what these brothers did, but at the same time it all ties into what the white supremacists like. They like the refinement stage where they don't really have to get their hands dirty, don't really have to do nothing much to work to the point where things can happen and you know their community's not really affected by it. You dig?
Right.
So yeah, man, it was on Instagram. Just put in Jason Whitlock speaks on Tyre Nichols video or something like that, you know. R.I.P. to the brother Tyre Nichols, man. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that we have to go through this type of bullshit. Just to let it be known that, you know, we're doing what we got to do to survive, you know? Y'all hit the StreamYard link.
Officers, this is captured the police.
Hold up. Let me turn off the music.
Camera pop in the back. Guy went to convicted with prison. It's open and shut too. I don't get what people are protesting. Black officers, the victim, the police chief is. The police have been fired and charged and will be convicted, I would assume, by a predominantly black. So the system is going to work here. What the other system that's working is the corporate insist promoting racial division at the behest, in my view, of the military-industrial complex. They want us all looking at this and not looking at what they're doing in Ukraine as they drag America and the world into World War III. This is a distraction, in my opinion. CNN hyped this video like they were hyping the Super Bowl. And there's really only 60 seconds in content. You show the police misconduct from overhead as they brutalize this man and make it clear this is an open and shut case and the guys are going to be convicted, and we move on. They treated this like a Super Bowl, enraging people, promoting the violence, and this is the most important story in the history. It's not. Going in Ukraine and our military involvement in Ukraine, that's what's going on in the world. They don't want you folks.
That is such a good point. I mean, you've been in the news business your life, 5 years or something. I'm guilty putting that video on the screen, not because I was on the side of it. I felt obviously bad about it. It was horrible. But because you don't want to put other things on TV and inflate emotions. You want people to be reasonable and put things through, wise decisions. News organizations really want to make people.
They don't want us on reality. Hey, if they devote a coverage and weekend want to take us to a good place, good. Examine the element of this. There is a racial element, and this is about young black and their ability to treat it in a humane way. Everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 30 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5 on, looked like violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single man. That's what they get on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected some, or put some black in charge of force, and we're getting the same chaos and disunity and violence in a lot of that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to respect for authority, that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all times because there was no male authority in your home, let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take it. They want to take us down the path of saying, you know what, this is Kirk Carlson's fault. This is some random white, this is Donald Trump's fault. It's not. It's the breakdown family and the buying in to all these left-wing things that have nothing to do with promoting family.
Okay, now pause that. Pause that for me for a second, or turn it off. There's a lot to unpack here. He first said this is a distraction, right?
Yeah.
A distraction. So he's saying we can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. So it's distracting us from a World War III that's going on in the Ukraine. So a black man that died at the hands of the police, not being shot, but literally beat up to the point where he died. That's a distraction. So when the war was going on in Kuwait or whatever during the early 90s, and Rodney King got beat up, and the whole world turned and looked at that situation. He didn't even die. That was a distraction too.
Right.
Like, what is he talking about? Like, you know what I mean? He's just trying to sample his way to the top. And then he's saying his single mothers. I get the fact that he's saying, single mothers are being led by these houses are being broken down because there's no there's no family structure or whatever, But that's because of the system that's being perpetuated against it, It's
Right.
a lot of it's a lot of bullshit that rhetoric that goes behind it. You know what I'm saying? How are we gonna take care of our families and take care of all that if we're being shunned out of society in all sorts of ways? We can't get loans. We're dealing with redlining. We're dealing with mass incarceration. We're dealing with miseducation. We're dealing with, you know what I'm saying, all types of extra low level innuendos when it comes to black folks that, you know, we can't really get out of a certain type of rut without really, like, so to speak, pulling ourselves up from the bootstraps, which some of us don't even have bootstraps to pull ourselves up from. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, they 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 say all these type of things just to like get under the skin of people that are actually going through it, you know?
Yeah.
And for him to say that, oh, it's because of a single mother, blah 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 blah. But what created that whole system of single motherhood? You know what I'm saying? What created that? And the fact of the matter is, I grew up with my mother and my father, but I still ran from the police. I still ducked the police. I still say fuck the police. You know why? Because that's what it was. It was happening all around us. You know, way before social media and all these cameras and anything like that. So, what is he really talking about?
I feel like from a of somebody else, not that situation, can't really understand it fully, right? He's just making a
Yeah, he's just making a bunch of assumptions and throwing it together and then saying it's Tucker Carlson. Nobody ever said it was their fault, Donald Trump's fault, and all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't even
that's
in office right now. So what is he trying to say? It's like he's pandering to his constituency a little bit, you know? He ain't really like saying much. He just pandered, like they gave him a bag to say to throw black folks under the bus or something like that. That's what it sounds like to me.
hmm,
But at the same time, this is the fuel, the ammunition that they have, you know, to convolute the whole conversation. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
They're gonna say, "Oh, it's not a race thing," which it doesn't look like it, but it's not. It's a white supremacy thing. But these guys are not the faces of white supremacy. These guys are victims of white supremacy, and they use them to do their dirty work, thus bringing the refinement stage that Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. speaks about in his book. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Neely Fuller Jr. You know? And he says there was only three T's of communication between people during under the system of white supremacy. You know,
Yeah.
it's either trashy, tacky, or terroristic. So what they did was a terroristic way of communicating with that brother, man, which ultimately caused his demise. So, you know, that's the breakdown I got from it. And then Black Lives Matter can't really say nothing because they're gonna be like, oh well, this is the black faces and white supremacy. Yeah, I get that, but it's way deeper than that, don't you think?
Oh, fuck. I mean, come on, now. Blackface, white supremacy. The system is more than like you know what I mean. Yeah,
Black and white, right?
they're the faces, they're the face of the system, but it doesn't matter if it's black. At the end of the day, against the black. So obviously they're gonna use black to like the black, the white
Exactly,
side.
you know? Exactly. So instead of blaming it on what the system is actually doing, we're blaming it on each other. We're like putting, like, I understand these guys should be held accountable to the utmost degree, but to say that they're not victims of the same system that oppresses them enough to feel that they're obligated to do something like that is very insidious, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? And it shows that our lack of understanding and communication amongst each other, you know? Why did the brother feel compelled to run? Because he knew the police was probably going to give him a beat down, you know? These 5, 6 brothers, 200-pound or more brothers, with all their full gear, you know what I'm saying? Suited and booted, ready to whoop your ass in a black dominated
Yo, bro, honestly, I
society.
think the man did his natural instinct, like naturally, just like, yo, I'm trying to get out of here. These guys are not
Yeah,
trying to
come
do
on, bro.
anything.
It's like 6 linebackers running at you. You gonna fucking stay there and take the whooping, bro?
Right.
Or you gonna try to, you know, get away from the whole situation, which is, you know, in reality, this is what comes down to it. But now they're gonna say, yo, you killed the man, bro. So should not
Right.
black folk and white folk riot in Memphis for the killing of this unarmed black man by other black men? Or is it just a police, you're not complying to the police issue, like in a Rodney King situation, which I might add, they tore up the whole South Los Angeles for that shit, right?
Yep.
So it gets deep. It gets deep, man. And I feel like the deeper the rabbit hole goes, the more we're gonna uncover a lot of bullshit, you know?
Naturally. Naturally, we'll see exactly what's going on within that system because it's obviously
I didn't like the fact that Jason Whitlock tried to make it political, like, oh, they say it's your fault, J- uh, Tucker Carlson. They're gonna say it's what's his name? Donald Trump's fault. What the hell does Donald Trump have to do with it? Or Tucker Carlson? It's because they're both
yeah,
Republican.
that was funny. I heard that for real. And the man snuck that in there slickly. He said,
Yeah,
"Whoop."
like why you gotta bring their names up in it, you know? Because it's gonna go into algorithms and be like, oh, you know, get them spoken about, which brings more revenue and more political clout to their whole show that they got going on over there, you know?
That's how they get their views. Eh?
Yeah, man, this shit get deep, bro. And now, if we say, nah, forget that, forget all that, forget all that, yo, we want these brothers getting persecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Yeah, justice, no peace. Is it a win for us or is it a win for white supremacists?
You see it. Now we're getting down to nitty gritty. See how quick and how easy all that. That's stuff they got to go through. Whole different race, whole different thing. Well, absolutely, I agree with you.
I can't hear you. You gotta move closer to your router or something. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like,
Okay.
yeah, 'cause you're chopping in and out.
Yeah.
hmm So I think we gotta take a step back and be like, look at the whole thing, the system as a whole down there in Memphis. You know, what the people have to overcome, what they're subdued by. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a lot of bullshit, man. They still didn't even catch the person that killed young Dolph. You know what I'm saying? Or they got a few people in custody. But I feel like it's corruption to the highest degree all over, man. You know, and they just put black faces in places in high places. You know, just to like save face, almost. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ultimately messing the whole thing up, you know. And what's the distraction with Ukraine, man? We all know Ukraine, what Ukraine is about. They put the whole thing about Ukraine out there to show us that
Something going on out there in Ukraine.
no, they're just showing us that we don't care about you Negroes. We'll give $100 billion to Ukraine before we start building up y'all communities. Now we're gonna bring them down here, and they're gonna perform racist and white supremacy against you. We're gonna give them money to relocate and live in our locations, you know. You know what I'm saying? And really bring them to the western frontier, you know.
Right.
Well, a lot of them are gonna go against it because I think a lot of Ukrainians are progressive, you know. But I don't know. But I think they're gonna see the games being played at their behest, you know, at their, you know what I mean? Because they're citizens of that country right there. They're supposed to be Russians. They got their whole shit bombed and everything like that. Now they gotta relocate to a whole another place where you know they're gonna be taken in with open arms, and then black folks can't get their reparations. So what they're gonna do really is create another buffer class, you know, and be like, man, there's nothing wrong with this system. Y'all just ain't pulling yourself up from your bootstraps. Okay.
Exactly.
So I'm just looking at the whole thing like, damn, this is lame as hell, yo. And it's unfortunate, man. Because a black man
Now there's
had
gonna
to
be an
die.
uprising. Now there's gonna be an uprising in the Memphis street. You know how the Memphis is starting to get hot.
Yeah. And the uprising is only gonna harm their own neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they want. They don't care if you fuck up your own neighborhood. They're just gonna create martial law and make it resources and everything more scarce. You know what I mean? There's been riots in all the major cities in the U.S., man. Memphis is a cold place because you remember that's where Dr. King got killed, right? At Memphis
Right.
Hotel, you know, by a white man. You know what I'm saying? because they were so caught up in their racism back then, man. They had to do everything to mess up Memphis because Memphis was like a thriving time. It was kind of like Montreal, you know, when it comes to like the music,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, the jazz and everything like that. The whole scene, you know.
yeah,
Plus, they had oil. There's a lot of oil there. Black folks had on their properties. They created eminent domain and all that to force them out. There's a lot to unpack, man. We're gonna have to do a show about the history of Memphis, man. Just because of this. But I'm not saying that it's probably like more things that happen, but for 6 brothers that are 200 something pounds to beat up on a defenseless, unarmed brother to the point where they killed him. There's gotta be something wrong there, man. Mentality is all ski whiff.
for sure. All the way out. All the way. No way. Yeah, it's been way more. You gotta be giving.
Yeah, man.
They gotta be giving. It's like, yo, listen, yeah, you guys have about this much way. You know what I'm saying? You have this much money, you have this much money. Don't worry about the consequences. We'll make everything go good. And they go let loose in the neighborhood and act like it's all good, right? Watch, we're gonna come. There's gonna be a bunch of people coming to the talking about how the Memphis this and the third, right? Everybody's to the forefront now. There's gonna be any stories about how the Memphis police is filed the whole time. Only one of the stories heard about. And, I already know that class is gonna come out, right? We need to hear
Right.
what. It's still something that's gonna be like looked on as okay. So what was the whole background of the system behind it? You know what we really gotta look at. It's like, you know, right now from that deep, it's supposed to be surface. Okay, these guys are the frontliners, but like who's the ones that really making this impossible for them to even remove that?
Real spit. Real spit. I don't know, man. We gotta do a follow-up show on this one, man. Because this one is deep. This one is deep.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. You know what? Like you said, this is just first press. Gotta stay tuned and really gonna unfold, right?
Yeah, it's fresh off the press for real. So we gotta learn to keep the stories going, you know what I'm saying? Because we gotta go to, sometimes you gotta go a little further, you know, a little deeper, you know what I'm saying? A little more. Gotta see it a little bit more clearer, you know, because I feel like Black Lives Matter should be on this, you know. But who are they gonna blame? Other black people?
But yo, it's like what you said. Like at the end of the day, how quick these guys are getting twisted and not problems at them being held accountable all of a sudden.
So, is it not safe to say that Black Lives Matter is just a part of another ploy to distract and disenfranchise and demobilize a greater movement, which is putting the end to the system of racism and white supremacy? Because I can't say Black Lives Matter and not speak on both sides of the equation of this shit that's going on right here. And I can't say White Lives Matter. But if Kanye puts out White Lives Matter and something like this happens, what does that say about us? What does that say about the whole system? What does that say about everything that's going on? It's either true or it's false. Was Kanye what Kanye was saying true or false? Irrespective of how he said it, or how it made you feel, or how you looked at, be more introspective with it. Forget all that Hitler shit he said or whatever. White lives, does it matter or does it not? In this country, under this system, with these type of obstacles in our way. And if we all know that, let's just let it be known, man, because right now Black lives ain't really mattering, man. If we can't even speak about it candidly from a perspective of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you know. So on that note, before y'all go out there doing something stupid, ask yourself, what will Mac do? Because all I do is sit back, max, relax, and kick facts. You dig? And that's how we gonna end it today, man. You know what I'm saying? My boy WY. You know how we do it. Keep it real to feel. I forget how they feel. We out. R.I.P. Tyre Nichols, man. You're ready. Peace.
Good.